Welcome. You're here with King Ray, or you can call me Ray. It really doesn't matter. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is, as you see in the video, or the title of the video, the difference between having a career and having a job. So I'm going to get into that and let you know the difference from my perspective and actually my experience that I'm going through right now. So, yeah, I'm just going to start there. So pretty much I injured myself. I'll pull up the video for you in a second to show how I did it. But I injured myself with a severe high ankle sprain. So actually, before I play the video, let me show you what it looked like, how swollen it was when I first sprained it. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Hold up. It should be like right here. Can I pull it? There it is. All right, y'all. So you see, it's my left foot, but from where you're looking at, it's probably to your right. So right here, you can definitely see. I don't have the biggest ankles in the world, so you can definitely see the difference from not seeing the veins in my foot, because naturally you see the veins in my foot here and stuff like that. And you see nothing here because it's that swollen, there's that much inflammation in it, all the way up to my ankle, stuff like that. So that's how bad it was. Pull that back down. That's how bad that was. So actually I'm gonna go to the video. Let me see. I have the video up right now. So I'm in the purple. You'll see me when I play it, but I'll be dribbling the ball, but I'm in the purple shirt with the I think number 1 on it. I don't remember. All right, so I'm just gonna play this video. It's gonna slow down by the time I injure it. So just pay when it's in slow motion. Just pay attention to my left foot, and you'll see how I sprained it. So let's play it. All right, so this is the first play I did before I sprained it. I made this shot. Back up, bank shot, right here. Slow down, not right there. First step, right there. Boom, on his foot. Literally see it. Can y'all see that? If you look at my left foot. Now, I stopped it once I was trying to come back up. But imagine when I stepped all the way down where my ankle was. So when I stepped all the way down, my ankle is to the floor. So I'll back it up real quick just so y'all can see again. Pay attention to my left ankle. And that, it hurt it, bro. You're going to see when I land. You're going to see a cutoff, but you're going to see me rolling around like crazy. It was hurting, bro. Hold up. I still feel that shit. That shit hurt. I can't even get off the ground anymore after that, which is why he blocked it. Because if I was able to jump and I actually planted on my left foot like I was supposed to, I would have jumped right over him. But yeah. All right, so that happens. I'm on the ground. I'm cut off, but you can see me rolling around right there. Like, it was so painful. I swear, bro. And look at them. Look at these niggas. It's funny how people, like, you play basketball with people and you hurt yourself, niggas just start staring at you, bro. They finally helped me up. So they helped me up, whatever. And yeah, so then I talked about it there, how I sprained it, but yeah. Yeah, so that's how I sprained it. As you can see, I sprained it really bad. It was a high, severe ankle sprain. So pretty much because of that, I had to be out of work for 2 weeks now. I will be going back Monday, but that will be 2 weeks of me being out of work. So when I first sprained it, you seen how swollen it got. I showed you that. And I'm the type of person where I I don't know. It's just the way I grew up. I tough stuff out. Like I tough stuff out. I toughen up when it comes to certain things. And if I'm hurt or whatever the case may be, whatever it is, I just go through it. I tough it out. It is what it is. I don't really be tripping like that. So I actually tried. Well, no. So when that happened, that was on a Sunday, right? And then I go back to work that Monday. So I was in so much pain I couldn't. So I called out Monday because I was just in too much pain. Like, it literally just happened. But then I go back to work Tuesday. I went back to work the next day, but I went back to work in crutches because at this point, when I sat down and stuff like that and got in my car or whatever, and then it eventually started swelling up, I couldn't plant my foot on the ground. Like, I couldn't walk on it no more. So I had to get crutches. But I'm like, all right, I got crutches, whatever, so I can get around now. I'm going to work the next day. I'm still in mad pain, but I'm like, I'm going to work the next day. So I go to work the next day. And pretty much, if you go to work and stuff like that, especially when you have a career, they usually treat it like a big, and you've been there for a while too, they usually treat it like a big family type thing or whatever. So now everybody's asking me what happened, all the other stuff, and I'm telling them whatever. Talking to my manager. So I'm not gonna say exactly what I do. I'm not gonna say my position, but I work in the lab. And I work for this big company. So I work in a lab, and where you have chemicals, you have different type of bottles of different chemicals and things that can combust and all that other stuff, right? So I'm walking around these crutches, and I have a lot of like, my job is high demanding. I have a lot of responsibilities. So I figured out how I can do my job. Now, I can't do my job entirely because I'm walking around the crutches. I mean, I was going to try to, but I talked to my manager, whatever. So I wound up doing different parts of my job where I can actually be at my desk, for a good portion. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can do this, wherever the case may be. Talk to my manager, whatever. But, HR to get a whiff that I am hurt. And so when the HR manager got a whiff that I was hurt, then the HR wanted to talk to me or whatever, because just like I said, it's a lab. It's a lot of different things going on, chemicals and different things that can combust and all this other stuff. And I'm walking around with crutches where you can hit stuff with all this. So now HR got to think about, they have a policy when it comes to like safety things. So, they're going to worry about things being safe and making sure, like, if I can be there, it has to be in a safe environment, wherever the case may be, and they have their own safety policies to where, they just like, man, you can't be in here in crutches. So this is where I talk about the difference between having a career and having a job. I've been at this particular company, like, I've been in my career for like, I don't even know at this point, 6-7 years, I guess. But I've been at this company for a few years, right? So I've been here for a while, stuff like that, and I build up some equity and wherever the case may be, because my job is also performance based. So my performance is like sky high. Like, when it comes to the metrics, everybody has their own individual metrics of their performance. So I've been doing good. My metrics, my percentages is all high, wherever the case may be. So I build some equity with the company when it comes to just how I do my job, or whatever the case may be. So, they work something out with me to where I can be off for as long as I needed to be off so my ankle can heal. And mind you, I'm getting paid the entire time, because that's one of the differences between having a job and having a career. 10 times out of 10, you hurt yourself outside the job, because mind you, I did not hurt myself inside the job. They're not liable to do anything for me. So The one difference is when you have just a job and not a career, they don't owe you nothing. Like, especially when you don't hurt it at the job, they don't owe you nothing. They don't have to do anything for you if they don't want to. And 10 times out of 10, when it comes to an actual regular job, they won't. So if you get injured where you have to miss a good chunk of time, you probably gonna be gone after that. You might as well not even go back because they probably gonna replace you. But that's the difference. So when it comes to the job I have, which is my career, yeah, HR worked with me where I can be out for whatever amount of time I need to be out, because the whole thing was, go to the doctors, get your ankle checked, see how long you got to be off your feet where you don't need the crutches no more, whatever the case may be. And whatever needs to be done needs to be done. If you need to be out for a week or two, wherever the case may be, then that's fine. And just come back after the fact, right? And the reality is, it was just as simple as that. So if I just speak on the injury real quick, I'm out for 2 weeks because I went from being that first day, because like I said, I like to tough things out. So I'm just going to tough it out. So if I can find a way back to work as soon as possible, that's what I'm going to do. So the first thing I did was I went to urgent care, because it's more like an in and out. You can just go there, right? So I seen a doctor, whatever. They confirmed it was a high ankle sprain. But they said, ain't no broken bones. It don't look like no broken bones or anything like that. Doesn't look like you did anything too serious, but you need to be off of it, for a while. So pretty much check back in, by the end of the week, that next Monday or whatever. So I'm like, all right. So my job is like, just do that. So pretty much just do what the doctor said or whatever. So, by the time I got to the end of the week, like, it got worse as far as the pain. Like, the pain and everything else has got worse. It didn't get better. Like, by the time I got to getting close to that next Monday, the pain got worse. It didn't get better. Like, nothing got better. It literally was getting worse. And then, what's so funny is the swelling was going down, but the pain was getting worse. That's what was funny about it. The swelling was going down, and that's probably because just the anti-inflammatory medication that I was taking. But the pain was getting much, much worse, like unbearable worse. So because of that, and they already referred me to a ankle specialist, or whatever the case may be. So, but when I was in so much pain, it was like, bro, I need an appointment now. And I was thinking about just toughing it out and thinking, like, if I can walk and be good by next Monday, then I'm just going to go to work and it's whatever. But I was in so much pain, and I'm just like, all right, I need to go to the ankle specialist. So it was an orthopedic doctor. That's an ankle specialist. And I went there. And then when they did their x-rays and their evaluations and stuff like that and looked at my ankle, they just let me know, like, okay, the good news is nothing's broke. So you don't have to worry about that. Your ankle, from a structure standpoint, looks fine. But you did stretch your nerves out in your foot, which is where you're getting the burning sensation. Like, your nerves is extremely sensitive right now. So it's going to burn and be a little painful, whatever the case may be, until your nerves in your foot heal. And what else they say? And then also pretty much I need a physical therapy. And on top of that I should not be going to work right now. So it was just like, take another week. And then they gave me this strong medication. I forgot how much was it. Like, it's really, really strong. It was like 900 mg or something like that on the bottle. Like, a very, very strong. The type that says don't drive a vehicle and stuff like that, and hard machinery. That type of drug. So it was that strong, and so they was like, you need to take this every single day. Don't miss a day. You also gonna need physical therapy, because to get your ankle strong again and stuff like that and get the flexibility back. Because even though the swelling went down, I had no flexibility whatsoever in my ankle, and it was still hurting like hell. So they was like, you know, you're not going to get strength back in your ankle, and you're not going to get your flexibility back in your ankle if you do not do physical therapy. So they was like, you know, it's not an option when it comes to that. And what's the other thing they said? There was something else that was important. Oh, so when it comes to the job, so also, of course, I got to miss more work and more time with another week out or whatever. So I say that to say, when it comes to a career, because I have a career, when it comes to my own experience of having a career, and I had jobs before in the past when I was much younger, you know, my job, my career made sure I was well taken care of. Like, they made sure I was good. Like I said, I did not injure myself at the job, so they wasn't liable to do anything. They could have told me to just use. They could have told me if I want to miss work, that's on you. Just use use whatever days you got left, and then outside of that, there's nothing they can do. But that wasn't the case. Like, they took care of me. They made sure I was good. They made sure things were good on my end. They made sure that, you know, I'll get paid for however many days I'm going to miss. They wasn't tripping off of that, how many days I'll miss, whatever. They the ones that was recommending me to not go to work, because I was trying to go to work, and they just like, nah, like, come back when you good and you got everything good and your ankle's good, whatever the case may be. Because my manager know me. Like, they know how I am. Like, I'll be there if I can be there or whatever, but they just like, nah, that wouldn't be a good idea. And they just made sure I was good. They made sure I was good. They been emailing me and all this other stuff and making sure, like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing on my end to take care of myself, and then I'll come back when I come back. And so I say that to say, me at the age I am now, and I've been in my career, like I said, for about, I don't know, 6-7 years or whatever. I just want to tell y'all, there is a big difference between having a career and having a job. Like, when I was much younger, jobs would never do anything of that sort, because they don't have a reason to. They don't have an investment in you, because the difference between a job and a career is, one, a job is a temporary thing. Like, it's a temporary thing. It's not for the long haul. So, like, that's the difference between a job and a career. It's like, a job is long term. So they treat you long term, because it's a long term position. When you're at a career, when you're at a job, that's not a long term position. Like, they're used to people going in and out. And the fact of the matter is, anybody can do that job. Anybody can do a job. Everybody can't do a career, because 10 times out of 10, a career position, you need to qualify for it. And if you don't qualify for it, then you can't do the job. So even when it comes to certain things that I have, me qualifying, the certain certifications that I have, even when it comes to in that company itself, someone can get in trouble if you're not qualified to do the job. Like, if the company get audited and you don't have certain certifications to do the things you're doing, the company, can get in trouble for that. So career-based positions, you have to be first qualified. You can't just get anybody to do the job. But when it comes to actual jobs that's not careers, anybody a lot of times can do that job. Anybody can qualify, right? So the reality is, they don't have a big investment in you. So they don't have a reason to take care of you. They don't have a reason to care about what you do outside of work. It's either you come in and be able to do your job, or if something happens that doesn't allow you to do your job temporarily, then you gone, you done. Because they don't have no actual investments in you. They don't have a long-term investment in you. The company don't have long-term positions. It's all temporary. It's for people to come in and out. So that's what they expect. But when it comes to a career, those are long-term positions. And a lot of times when it comes to career, the benefits they give you and all the different things, they got to pour in a lot of money to hire you. They got to pour in a lot of money when you talk about the bonuses and the promotions and the the raises and all the other stuff that and the benefits, all the other stuff that comes with your career, that's you gotta realize how much money that companies is spending on each employee for them to be there, right? So they have a huge investment in you at a certain point. So they're not just gonna just let you go. And on top of that, they're gonna make sure you good. They're gonna make sure you're taken care of. They're gonna make sure that they do what they can so you can do what you can for the company, so you can continue to perform, especially if you're performing at a high level with the company. They want to make sure that you continue to do that. And so it goes hand in hand when it comes to having a career, to where you're pouring into them and then they making sure they pour into you, which doesn't happen at a job at all, because it's temporary and they have no reason to care about you outside the job or do anything for you to make sure you're good and you can perform the job, because they don't have an actual real investment in you to do so. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to jobs, a lot of times they're not going to have really good benefits at all. If they even have benefits at all, there's nothing that the job is going to offer you to where it's a huge investment. They can let you go tomorrow and they ain't losing no money of letting you go, and then they can just hire this another random person. So they don't have a reason to care about what's going on with you outside of anything work related. But a career does, because what they do for you and what they pour into you, they know that it ultimately pours back into them, and then they get to keep their investment. So that's the difference. That's the difference. And so if you're looking, if you have like long-term goals and you have things in the work that you're doing long-term, then you definitely want a career. And if you're going to do jobs that's not a career, use them for what you got to use them for. Like, do not try to use a regular job as a long-term thing, because it's not meant for that. It's not meant for that. And if you try to do that, the reality is life be happening sometimes. Life be lifing. And when you got to make adjustments in your life, you're going to see how a regular job can't do nothing for you. And if you got to make a really big adjustment that affects the job in some type of way, then you pretty much done. You pretty much going to get replaced. It's really just that simple. And everybody knows that life is a roller coaster. Like, you got to make adjustments in life sometimes. So you never want to treat a regular job like a long-term thing. You never want to do that. You want to get to a point, if you do have a regular job, you want to get to a point where you can actually build a career. Like, I've had plenty of regular jobs. Like, I've been just like anybody else, to where you just graduated. You know what I'm saying? I just graduated high school and I'm doing security to retail to, like working at Toys R Us, Home Depot. When I first graduated high school. So I was doing jobs like anybody else. And then at some point, I needed to find where I was going to build my career in, because I had goals that I had for my life. I had goals that I had for, my life and everything that was around me, and a certain place that I was trying to go in my life. So at some point, it had to be about where am I building my career? Because a regular job is not going to support your everyday life. They don't have a reason to care like that, but a career does. So yeah, that's the differences between a job and a career. So anybody that's at a certain point in their life where they had a job and all they had was a job, it's never too late to look for a career that you feel like you're good at, or you feel like you can do really, pretty much you can do really great at, and something that you feel like you'll enjoy at the same time. But you're going to have to put in a lot of work and you're going to have to grind it out. You're going to have to put in a lot of effort, because that's the thing. I think a lot of people wind up having just regular jobs, and they try to treat those temporary jobs like they long term. I think they only do it because it allows them to be lazy and content. And when it comes to a regular job, you don't have to work hard. You don't have to put in no actual effort. It's not going to be performance based. Where careers is more, a lot of times more performance based. You got to put in a lot more effort and a lot more work, but it's also rewarding. You know what I'm saying? It's also rewarding. You also don't have to worry. You also not going to have to worry about a lot of things that you're going to have to worry about with a job. And the whole, when it comes to, you know how some people complain about, like, your job never cares about what's going on with you outside the job. They never care about what's going on with you in your actual life. Well, a career does. When they actually put that investment in you, when it comes to the career that you have, they will care what's going on in your outside life, because the people, the job itself and the employees, some upper management, whatever the case may be, everything is about long term. So when it comes to a career, a lot of times it's like you're building a family outside of your actual family, because everything is long term, including the employees. That's where you get people that's been there for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, retiring there, whatever the case may be. So it becomes bigger than just simply you just coming in and doing a job. Even though I recommend people to do that, to start doing that and stop gossiping so much. But at the end of the day, when it comes to things that's outside of your job, that like your life and the things that you got going on and the things that's important to you, your career will actually support you in that and make sure things is good in your actual life, because they have a big investment in you, and everything is about long term. So they have every reason to care about what's going on in your life, because when you're somewhere that has a long term, like I guess you could say like a long term atmosphere, or that's what they expect people to be there long term, then they understand life. They understand what goes on in life. They understand that, you know, there's adjustments in life sometimes in people's lives and all these different things. They understand that. Because they have to when it's a career. So you definitely want to think about that. If you're between trying to figure out careers, or you between like having jobs and wherever the case may be, and you thinking you can survive off of that, you won't. It's not meant to be long term. It's not even close. And so that's the difference. So if anybody that's at a point in their life where they trying to figure this out when it comes to the job they at, it'd be best to build a career. And those are the differences between a job and a career. If you looking to be somewhere long term and you got long term goals, you want to build a career. It's just that simple. You can't build anything long term or have long term goals at a job. You just can't. So these are going to be the cons when it comes to having a job. You're not going to get none of those benefits. You're not going to get the benefit of what I'm saying now. And this is my perspective. This is coming from my experiences. So that's why I'm using me as an example. And I'm old enough to understand the differences, too, because I've had jobs before. You know, I had a job and I have a career. So I know I've seen the differences or whatever the case may be. Except for the obvious just being pay a lot of times. But it's everything else that comes with it when it comes to just when you have to live life. And if you have to go through life and you have to go through adjustments in life and stuff like that, you don't want to be going through life like everybody else with a job. It's not going to do anything for you. So from my perspective, that is the differences to me when it comes to a job and a career. I just wanted to share that with you guys, so it would help anybody that's going through a transition, or they're thinking about going through transition, and they're tired of having job after job after job, and they don't know what they're gonna do next. don't go for another job. I mean, of course, like, if you know you want to build a career, that takes time, that takes progressing in certain areas. But make your mind up while you at a job and stay at that job and build on trying to build a career while you at that job. And then once you have a good enough footing where you know you can leave and go to the career you're trying to build, then, you know what I'm saying, then do that. And some places in today's age, because it all depends on what you want to do. Some places would give you the schooling. Some places would be like, look, we'll hire you, but you got to go through the schooling. You have to go through the certain processes before you can start on your first day or whatever. Some jobs are like that. Well, some careers are like that. So it all depends. But, you know, if you're in the middle of a transitional period and you're just tired of having job after job after job, then you definitely want to start thinking about how you want to build a career. But that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys, share my perspective. See y'all later. Peace.